It's gonna be
fun.
Buddy.
We have Emily. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Welcome.
I'm Steffi.
I'm Vanessa.
Yay. We are absent of DeLindsay today.
Yeah.
Lindsay is off traveling.
Our third is not here this evening. We have a substitute.
Much furrier than Lindsay. Though she would like him because he's furry. So.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yay. So today we're going to talk about our new act that we're working on that we touched on a little bit last week. And that is that we have been hired to do a gig next month as sirens, aka mermaids. It's a water goddess.
AKA harpies,
yes.
Which I just learned about are also merquatic beings.
Yeah. They fall in the siren world for sure. Yeah, I did not know that. Which I haven't read the Odyssey. I won't.
No, really?
Not really.
Like not in like 5th grade
No,
or anything.
I tried.
Is there a movie too?
Yeah, I think there.
Well, there's the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But wasn't there one before then?
I don't know. Maybe.
You should try it again now.
I should
with
now.
your love of mythos, you should.
Yeah, I should know.
So
I
good.
think I got like shortly into it and then was like, which is funny because shortly thereafter I did read the Brothers Karamazov, which is like just as long as the Odyssey. So,
Fine.
So today we're going to talk about some of the things that it takes to put together the act that we're doing, which includes obviously a lot of costume related things, tails, hair, makeup, and specifically, River, do you want to talk about what you're going to be doing?
Oh, well, for this particular episode, we are going to stumble through the process of making scales for our face, maybe shoulders, knees and toes, knees and fins, with some fishnet stockings. So we'll be playing with a little bit of making scales with using fishnets as a base pattern with other fun makeup bits.
It works really well. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I'm properly clothed today though, because I have fishnets on.
you're very in theme. Super in
I
theme.
just do them on my legs the whole time too.
I wouldn't want to ruin them though.
Yeah.
That's why getting like a really cheap trashy pair is nice, just for your scaling needs. These are my scales, mermaid fishnets.
I like cheap, crappy fishnets too.
Just in general, for cutting purposes.
Tearing off.
Yep, in the
Yeah.
heat of stuff. Hi everyone. So that's what our main somewhat focus today is, and then we'll also be talking about learning about mythos of merpeople.
I did a lot of research.
Dude, I was getting briefed before we aired, and there is more than just Ariel.
Oh, yeah.
Out
She's
there.
probably. I have
for
her
drinking.
I brought a pic. Oh, there she is. Oh. She's like the standard, especially in America when people think mermaid, that's the first thing they go to. Personally, I like the other one better, which I don't know if you can really see that very well.
Oh, that's
He's
Rule
like
64 mermaid,
gender swap,
meaning
Ariel.
it's boy Ariel.
Yeah. Which is great, and it looks a lot like my friend Ian.
I like your friend Ian. He's very nice.
But there are all kinds of other mermaids, and really the whole mythology of mermaids didn't actually start with mermaids. It started with sirens generally, and sirens actually originally were bird women, which was where the whole harpies thing came from. That they were, especially like in the Odyssey, it's that way as well. Which like I said, I haven't actually read the Odyssey because I'm a lazy reader.
So for the gig that we were contracted for, we're being contracted to sing some songs and to lure people to this pond, which then inspired us to be nymph mermaid beings. So of course, being the info nerds that we are, immediately went online and started researching, okay, well, what kind of mermaids do we want to be? And which kind of led to a Pandora's box of different types, different subgenres, which really then led to playing with what our mersona is, really.
Mersona.
Yeah, your mersona! So it's fun because you get to think about like what elements from what ancient myths that you want to create your particular mermaid. So
and we went back and forth about if we wanted to do just sirens who, a la Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, where they were just very lovely ladies that were washing their clothes in the pond. you know, or we could have gone the route of being bird ladies, which I don't think that it's so as well known that sirens originated as
from a harpy.
Yeah, I don't think that people know that as well. So I think it might have been confusing. And mermaids are such a recognizable thing, and they really in the 20th century, about midway through when the wiki-washy
mermaids.
Yeah, there's a park in north of Tampa where they've been doing mermaid shows since the 40s, late 40s, and it's really built this whole culture of mermaiding.
Right, it's a profession. You can be a professional mermaid.
You can,
fantastically enough, which is awesome.
Yeah. So we decided to go with mermaids because one, it's really recognizable, and two, there's a lot of cosplay opportunity there because they've been in, you know. You've got the Splash Mermaid that Daryl Hannah did. You've got Ariel. You've got the Pirates of the Caribbean mermaids. There's so many different recognizable ways that you can go with that, and the makeup's going to be really fun.
It's going to be super fun. Yeah, and it's great because we're doing a mashup of pond form mermaids, where some of us will be in tails in the pond, and then we get to shed our tails a la Splash. Mm-hmm. And we'll come up on stage and kind of look a little Grecian in some wrapped up muslin or white. Emily, that's not for drinking. Fortunately, there's no paints in there yet.
That's hilarious.
But that's for making
it's
scales.
One of you know, especially if you've seen Splash, this is probably the most well known. There's also that Aquamarine movie. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen Aquamarine.
I haven't either. But in Splash, one of the things is she's kind of like a gremlin. You know, you don't get her wet, otherwise the tail shows up. You know,
she's like, mermaids are pretty much like gremlins.
You splash me with water.
Yeah,
get me to a bathtub.
So we're doing a little bit of that, both of those things together. So if you saw our teaser photo earlier today, you saw my lovely modeled hand with some scales on it. And we're going to be talking a little bit about how to get that look. Mm-hmm. I'm still practicing it. I'm still trying to get it down. So bear with me as I'm still learning stuff.
I'm going to be a guinea pig.
Yes, and Miss Vanna White is going to be my fantastic model.
I don't know if you can see it. I can like zoom it in a lot here. Ooh. I found one picture that was kind of cool, and I hadn't seen this before, where on the they have scales on their arms, and you don't see that a lot in a lot of the mermaids because people like to depict mermaids as being these like beautiful, lovely creatures, mm-hmm. like beautiful women, but really like mermaids are kind of evil.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. With all the research that we did, kind of.
They like to kill.
Deceitful.
They like to kill dudes. They're like black widows of the sea.
Total black widows of the sea. So materials that you're gonna need is some cheapy fishnet stockings. I got these at Walgreens.
I recognize
Walgreens. Like $3. Walgreens. Yep. Here they are. You also need some fantastic eyeshadows. I also got these at Target. I'm just gonna hold it up. Bing 32 color palette from Target. $6.
Oh,
fail. You're also gonna need, you don't need this, but I need this in my life. Glitter, all of the glitter, because glitter.
Fairy herpes.
Yep, raver fairy herpes. Makeup brushes. These are just my personal makeup brushes. I also have these makeup cleaning wipes that Sephora gave me, so I'll be cleaning my brushes very thoroughly after using like paint and crazy rainbow colors to make sure my brushes are nice and back to their original state. Mm-hmm. Makeup wipes. And then I have some primer and then this is from Benefit Cosmetics. It's Stay Don't Stray, and it's for eyeshadows specifically. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to be using this obviously on Stephanie's eyebrows or eyelids. I'm going to be using it on her cheek, and it's to help have the eyeshadows stick.
Never going to come off.
Never, ever. I don't want it to stick or run, especially because you're putting something on your face already as a template. You just don't want it to smudge. And then I also have face paint. So I had this pre-existing. I didn't buy it. I was at work one day and someone said, we need a face painter. Is anyone a face painter? And I said, yes. And after work, I bought a face painting kit. And the next day I was painting faces. So now I have a face painting kit. You could, if you wanted to really go up a notch, like theatrically and as far as quality, Krylon makes really great heavy liquid-based cosmetics that you could, which are really, really awesome. And man, that stuff will, like, you have to get like a chisel to get that stuff off your face, and it doesn't run, and it's really good. It's also rather expensive.
It is.
So
I do have a big white, as the resident goth. I have a big white.
Well, you do some clowning stuff too.
I have, yeah, and then mostly it's been for cosplay related things, like doing different characters that have very white skin, such as when I was Jariel from Star Wars for the Cantina.
They don't know that.
The Cantina fundraiser. There, you may have, if you follow us on Facebook, you may have seen at one point there is a picture of me as Jariel with blue markings on my face, and that was all Krylon. The white is so nice. It's really. Like, if you have the money, I highly recommend getting the Krylon.
It's super nice. Yeah. And we may, down the line, if
we're
going to do this for multiple gigs, upgrade. But as of this point right now, this is what I have. And the brand that I got, or that I have, is Snazzaroo. And you can get this, I think I got this at my local arts and crafts store. It is. It's called Snazzaroo.
Snazzaroo.
And it comes with this really great booklet on like all these different other face paint things you can do.
I want to see this booklet.
I learned how to paint a tiger face and a Tin Man.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I learned how to do little like fun butterfly stuff from Snazzaroo. Thanks, Snazzaroo. You were sure great. Yeah.
Dracula. Angel. She's very yellow for an angel.
Well, like golden
yellow
color.
Angel.
It's fine.
She's just jaundiced.
Dizzy dog.
Okay. Dizzy or ditzy?
Dizzy. I think that's why the tongue is all.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
I was paid money to look at this book and then paint on. It was great. So because I'm using face paints, I'm also going to be using a setting powder. This particular powder is ID
use that.
Mineral Veil, and that's just to suck up all the moisture that these water-based face paints are going to be putting on Stephanie's cheek. So hopefully the more I use this on a wet thing of paint, it's going to dry that out, and then it'll be easier for me to layer on more.
The Mineral Veil is really nice because it gives you a really matte finish, which is great. Like I quite often when I do the Krylon white, because the Mineral Veil is very minimally color, I'll use that over it just to like matte it.
Yeah.
And it does a really good job. It's like a translucent powder, but awesomer.
And you can also use it just as like a cover-up coverall, and it just makes you look really polished anyway. Cool. What?
Old man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He looks very angry.
Yeah.
Apparently when you're old, you're angry.
I also have a little cup of water for my watercolored face paints. What else do I have here? And just various brushes of sorts to try different things.
Emwyn's beverage.
Emwyn's, oh my god. Emwyn, this is not for drinking. Oh,
this is
also our beverages.
Yay,
cheers.
Cider, you know. Breakfast of champions or something. It's breakfast somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It's breakfast.
This is fruit.
It's breakfast for Gabriel, who probably woke up an hour ago.
Hi, Gabriel. Good morning. We're having a fruit beverage for you.
Yes.
Fruit is good for you. So, that is the materials.
That's everything.
Yeah, that's about everything.
Oh my gosh.
I'm really excited about all the glitter. Do you want to talk a little bit about, maybe 3 different kinds of mermaids that you learned about before we get started?
Sure. So when I was doing research, there's some basic things about sirens and mermaids. Normally they appear in groups of 2 to 5.
What do you call a group of mermaids?
No. What would you call a group of mermaids?
That's a question I have for our chat, actually.
Yeah.
What would you call a group of mermaids? You call a pod of dolphins. Mm-hmm. What do you call a group of mermaids?
It's not a flock of mermaids.
A fin of mermaids?
A fin of mermaids.
No, I don't know. Andy, if there are people who answer that, would you just tell
You have to let us know.
Just let us know. I'd really like to know.
All right. Something of mermaids.
So 3, did you say?
So 2 to 5 usually.
Oh,
like
okay.
in the Odyssey, it was 2. In O Brother, Where Art Thou, it was 3. I've seen quite often it be 3. And a lot of arts, a lot of paintings that you'll see of mermaids or nymphs, it will be 3 to 5.
Well, that's good because we have 4 of us doing the gig, so we innately knew that.
Yeah, totally. Probably the most well-known painting of a mermaid is the one of. I'm just flipping through.
Is it the Waterhouse one?
Of course.
The one that I had hanging in my dorm room in college.
Yeah. So I'm like, it needs to go this way.
Love that.
So yeah, I actually had this on my wall also.
High five me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Someone actually went to my house one day and they said, "Is that a picture of you?" And I was like, "You are full of shit. Like, really? Have you never seen that painting before?" Probably not.
Or they just liked you.
Aww.
Crushing on you.
So you've got your standard, like, she obviously has the abalone shell and everything else. She would be an ocean mermaid, which there's differentiation between the ocean mermaids and the river mermaids. There's saltwater mermaids,
Right. Subspecies.
and freshwater mermaids, which
Not
they have.
unlike otters, who are in the weasel family. There are river otters and ocean otters. Ocean otters are far bigger.
Yep.
River otters are littler.
I wonder if that's true of mermaids too.
Dude!
Like Little Mermaids are in the
There is
river.
a Little Mermaid.
Alligators versus crocodiles.
True. So they have names for those in the Greek mythology. Naiads are the river or freshwater, and then the oceanids are the saltwater. So you have your different types of mermaids there. Obviously, the same with the sirens. You've got the sirens that are birds, and then you have the sirens that just look like girls, and then you have the sirens that are mermaids.
So we're like naiad sirens.
Because we'll be in the freshwater.
We'll be in a freshwater pond.
Yep.
Sweet. See, this is again honing that persona, which is very exciting.
And what?
One suggestion for a group of mermaids would be a miracle of mermaids.
A miracle or a miracle?
A miracle.
A miracle of mermaids. Oh. Well, it depends on what your kind of definition of miracle is.
You'd be like a
Because
wave of mermaids.
I like it though, a miracle of mermaids. But then again, we learned in our research that mermaids are bitches.
Yeah.
So I don't know, is it a miracle?
It's a miracle. It's a
For a
miracle if
moment.
you didn't crash your ship.
Right.
When you went by. Because, I mean, there's this romanticized idea about mermaids from films and from a lot of stories. And
Thanks,
stuff like that,
Disney.
right?
Thanks,
Where it's
Obama.
like, they're so nice and sweet. But actually, most mermaids are probably more like Ursula.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm stealing your stuff. I'm gonna make you crash your ship. And
Well, I mean, they should be eco-terrorists. I mean, us humans are all like, we're gonna deep trawl all your resources and things. Like, and then mermaids are gonna be like, yes, let us sing you a song and kiss you. No, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh no, some stories actually even say that mermaids are cannibals. And that's why they crash all the ships, because then they go and eat all the sailors.
But is that cannibalism? Because they're not eating their own people.
Well, they're kind of humanoid. I don't know. But that was in the
Do
in the
humans
reference.
eat monkeys?
I don't think so.
Monkey brains.
Other suggestions that are being found are school, pod, or gossip of
A
mermaids.
gossip. Isn't that just women in general?
Pretty
No.
much, yeah.
It's not true. It's not true.
So yeah, and you might think one of the things that I did learn, in my research was you might think that mermaids are not real, but there actually
There's
is.
hope.
There is. I mean, not a lot of hope, but there is a disorder that is very rare called cyramelia, and it's also known as mermaid syndrome. And it occurs in 1 in 100,000 births, and it's where a baby is born with its legs fused together. So it is known to happen. The unfortunate part of that is that they live 1 to 2 days and then they die from complications with kidneys and bladder.
It's just evolution, man. Like
Apparently
it's evolution is trying to get there.
They
Eventually.
one of the best parts about that was that they reference that they also have very small genitalia. So, maybe they really died of shame. I'm a terrible person.
Yeah.
I was like, why would they even reference that? They have really tiny genitalia. Okay.
I was curious if they had a water birth, would they survive long?
Oh Jesus!
Apparently, at the point that I read was reading stuff, they had updated it as of 2003. There had been 4 cases of someone being born with mermaid syndrome and living more than 2 days. So it's
Water.
It's maybe they
Possibly.
had a water bird.
Possibly.
So yeah.
Cool. So I feel like we should do some scale stuff so that it gives people time to think of questions if they have questions for Q&A.
Okay.
What do you think?
You're in charge.
I'm not in
I'm
charge.
your guinea pig.
Oh,
You're like the
Jesus.
scientist. You need a lab coat.
Ah,
You need like
man!
a fish lab coat.
A fish lab coat?
Like
Andy has a, he's gonna,
scales.
before I, no, this is not for drinking, Emmeline. God. Andy's gonna get a lab coat. I know he has one.
I know you think you're a catfish, but you really
I
know.
know.
Catfish.
I'm not a catfish, I'm a codfish.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh. So let's see. What other
Tell us more.
fancy things did I learn about mermaids? There is a castle. One of the earliest known depictions in art of a mermaid is in a castle in England, in Durham Castle. There is a chapel there called Norman Chapel, and it was built in 1078. And there's a chair in that castle that has a carving of a mermaid. And apparently, they're really into.
Hold, please.
She's gonna be scientist. They're
lab
really
coat me,
into.
man. Oh, all right.
They're really into mermaids in the British Isles. It's a big thing there, and they actually have different.
Now I feel like I'm one of those ladies in the mall. You know?
Hey, girl, yeah.
Sample?
But,
I feel like a Mac cosmed person.
you're a mad scientist.
Would you
My name is Andy.
Just
would
don't.
you prefer a band jacket?
No.
Just don't. Just don't. I request that you don't do like a P.T. Barnum on me and cut me in half and attach a fish to the bottom of it, because.
You don't want to be a mermaid?
That is one of the big hoaxes. I learned about hoaxes as well today.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
biggest hoax that is most well known, and if you go to any kind of like things like we do that are historical reenactment, things like Edwardian ball and that sort of thing, quite often you will have people who will feature on a sideshow the Fiji mermaid. And the Fiji mermaid, this is a little drawing of the Fiji mermaid. The Fiji mermaid was P.T. Barnum's little mermaid thing he did, and they made it by taking the top half of a monkey and the bottom half of a fish, and they dehydrated them basically and cut them in half and then stitched them together.
That is not going to be part of our persona.
No, which I learned the hard way. Don't go looking at pictures of the Fiji mermaid while you're eating lunch.
Was it sushi?
It's really bad. I was like, I can't look at this anymore.
No.
It was really not good. No.
No.
So yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. What are you gonna do first?
Well, first we're going to go to a break.
Oh, are we gonna have a commercial?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be about sushi.
Sushi. Now I just want sushi.
I want sushi too.
What kind of sushi do you want?
All the sushi. More mermaids.
All the mermaids.
Yeah, we even got Harry Potter.
Hi everyone.
Harry
Welcome
Potter
back.
even has a mermaid.
Yeah, and they are
mermaid.
not pretty, actually,
no.
at all.
They're a good example of some creepy looking mermaids.
Yeah. Even in the Pirates of the Caribbean,
they do a Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing where they're like, look, I'm a nice vampire.
Hi, so if you're just tuning in, I'm Vanessa. Hello.
I'm Steffi.
And we're Cosplay Cabaret, and we are working on, right now, some scales using fishnet tights to create a scaled look on our faces, and possibly I was thinking like shoulders even. I know not sans Stephanie, but or we could even we could try it over your tattoos. That'd be kind of cool.
That might be kind of neat.
I mean,
I'm down for that.
It's all for experimentation.
I'm down for that.
So we're working on scales for our Naiad Siren gig coming up in September 12th?
Yes.
12th. September 12th?
Yeah. If you were checking before watching the show and you heard a different date, you can thank me for that.
Good thing.
But it's actually the 12th of September, yes.
So we will be up there doing some songs. We'll be set dressing. We'll be swimming around a beautiful pond.
Taking photos of people,
Being a mermaidy person, fish. And now is the time where we're gonna try this out. So I was playing with it last night, and I'm still playing with it because we're all learning as we go. So, Stephanie, if you'd be willing to just kind of hold this kind of like by your cheek.
Yep.
Choose whichever cheek you would like. Perfect. Lovely. Is that okay? You're not... Actually, you know what? I even missed a step. So you can take it off.
Okay.
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prime. Oh no, are you stuck? It's like braces when you're making out with Tommy Smith in the bleachers.
Don't have a lip piercing and try to put fishnets on your face.
Pro tip. First thing I'm gonna do is put primer on you, and that's gonna help stick this stuff to your face. This is Stay Flawless 15-hour primer by Benefit.
It's awesome.
Which is really nice, and you don't need a lot of it. And it stays on forever. Stephanie and I danced together in this can troupe, and we danced together in the 1920s dance group as well. And we go in our full stage makeup from 8 a.m. till 8:30 p.m. Oh, hi everyone. Maybe. Are we in the dark still?
Oh, you're back.
Yay! Hi!
Technical difficulties. You missed a lot of me looking ridiculous. I'm sorry. I broke the camera.
No.
So it is.
Ugh.
Why?
So what we have been doing is we put fishnets on Stephanie's head, and then we took some base blue of the Snazaroo face paint and put that down her cheek a little bit, and then we took a little bit of green and put some green a little bit further down, and now I'm taking this kind of teal opalescent-y color and putting it over everything because I think it's going to create a really nice sheen pearlescent look. We'll see. Hopefully, it will like me. One can hope. And then I'm using this really light opalescent powder, and I'm only gonna do I'm gonna fill in a couple of the fishnet holes here. And I'm hoping with what that's gonna do is not only add dimension, but make a couple of the scales really pop out. We'll see. One can hope.
I'm gonna have fishnet marks on my nose.
That's good for you.
Oh yeah. Fishnet monster. I've been caught by a sailor
in his net. And then what I'm using here is just a, what is this technically called? Transcendental pearl? Translucent pearl? I don't know. It's just
transcendental makeup.
That's right.
You'll go to another plane of existence.
And again, it's really just to take that flat color of the blue face paint and to give it a sheen and a shine, make it pearly, and have dimension. Hopefully
Or dementia.
Or dementia. Whatever. So let's try. Let's see how it turned out.
Okay.
It's new and different every time. Oh wow! You should look in a mirror. Oh look, there's a mirror right here.
Hey, alright. I feel like a fish.
Yeah!
Not a fish! I'm a man!
I'm a merman!
I walk around with 2 legs. I'm over rectus.
So I don't know.
Sorry, I had to half bake for a moment. I'm sorry.
Oh. Can you see it all? Yeah? Sweet.
I'm fishy.
You're so fishy!
Fishy. Fishy fish. Don't eat me.
So you can then, other things that you can do with
Reeling me in over there.
with the netting, which is really nice, is that when you have this stretched over, say, someone's forehead, you can take the diagonal lines of the netting and say, oh, I only want to do a triangle here, taking these rows and then filling in that bit, or, following a line. So as far as geometry goes, it's really nice and really convenient to have the patterning of the netting so that you're not painting each individual scale on. For the purposes of this show and hoping that you would be able to see the very stark blue and green on screen, this is very loud scaling colors. For the purposes of our show, I was thinking more of doing gold and white on my shoulders, so that when I'm far away, you may not necessarily see my golden white scales, but if you were to come closer, you would see that subtle patterning. For me personally.
That's how you draw them in.
That's how you lure them in. Yeah. I mean, you might be able to see something shimmering and shining.
But there were some of the images that I looked up. They did that on the, there's colorful scales on the tail, and then as it went up the body, it became more it looked like skin tone, but it still had the scale effect going on. So it looked really, like the combination of the two.
Right.
But it wasn't like this where it's in your face.
Yeah.
Literally in
your face. Then of course you can always enhance this with little sticky rhinestones or gems, pearls.
I'd probably be doing.
Which we will probably do.
Just bedazzling your face.
Yeah, reasons. I've seen people do buying lots of loose sequins and taking spirit gum, and then after doing this with your face, taking a couple of sequins and then spirit gumming them around the crowns and temples of your face to kind of make that a little bit more three-dimensional, and then they blend it in to the fishnet, which is another way just to kind of have all those.
Oh my gosh,
what's a kitty?
If you want to get super fancy too, you can get the good size scales and then cut them so that they're half circles and then layer them.
Oh, the plastic circles?
If you want to get real fancy.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And again, this is something if you are doing a mermaid gig on dry land, or you're kind of doing, you're human, but you're kind of you're taking in some of that oceanic vibe, I would not wear this doing a wet mermaid gig, meaning I would not be swimming around a pond with this kind of makeup
Unless
on.
you want to look like a really freaky mermaid.
Yeah, in that case, I would start really playing in the realm of making my own latex molds, making my own scales, and then spirit gumming and gluing those on. But I don't have the resources for that currently, and some of us, again, will be on land, and some of us will be swimming around. So this is a very economical way to get that scale look without investing in latex scales. So Izchek thinks that it's time for his cider, but it's not.
I know, he keeps coming over hey, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? Oh my god.
So I definitely think the primer helped.
Yeah,
Helped that a lot.
Made the colors stay good. Yeah.
Oh, what I also did, which you may not have seen, when I was finished putting on one layer of blue face paint, I was taking this powder and then powdering Stephanie's cheek so that any moisture was immediately being sucked out of that. And then I was able to put on more. So.
And you can also, I actually have at my house, which we can use for our gig, you can also at places like Cryoland get what's known as Fixer, and it's a spray that does, it's the same kind of idea, where you spray that on after you put on makeup, and it really makes it not smear. It's really good for water-based and for grease makeup and that sort of thing, to keep it from getting on everything you touch. So, and it also, helps it stick generally, so it'll stay in place as well. So I have some of that, so we'll be
excellent
in that room.
Yay. So I'm thinking that we're gonna break, and then any sort of questions that you may have in regards to this look or our gig, or what you call a group of mermaids, which I have yet to find an answer that I truly think is the correct answer.
Yeah.
Please let us know in the chat below, because I'm really curious. Oh, that moving table was because of a cat.
Okay, is he the
Izchek also wants to be a catfish.
Catfish, yeah. So yeah, come back.
Please, yay. Okay.
Now I get to do yours, right?
Yeah, that would be awesome. We should. During the Q&A, you should do it on me.
Right? Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's fine. I don't know either. But you just saw the tutorial. You saw as much as me. What do you think? You think it's awful?
No,
That's like my third one.
That's good. That's good.
It's fine. Okay, bye. Hi, everyone.
Hi! I blew the cat's nose.
Oh, Jesus. We had a very curious kitty, and then Stephanie went boop, and now it has a blue nose.
Yes, a blue nose.
Izzy the blue-nosed kitty.
It's terrible.
That's hilarious.
So now we're gonna combine our forces of Q&A and
We'll see how good of a
testing
teacher
out.
I am.
Yes, testing out just how terrible I am. Okay, so I'm gonna do
Okay, so if you have questions, fire away. But while we're waiting for your questions, Stephanie's going to scale my shoulder because it's worth doing a second time.
because why not?
Yeah.
No climbing, just skate.
We're gonna scale this task.
Terrible.
It's good.
Terrible.
Andy, are you floundering?
Oh God.
Get wrecked! Get wrecked.
That was fun.
That was so good.
That was fun. It's terrible.
I just say these jokes for the halibut.
I'm sorry, my brain is so. Every time we go on, no, you have to understand. I was married, and the last name of the gentleman that I was once married to is Seaman, so my brain just always goes to that. like no.
Was he
no.
very nautical?
I can't fathom what you mean.
Oh, that's good.
All right.
Capriel Cat asks, "What's the best cosplay you've done yet?"
With cosplay cabaret or just in general? How do you want? Oh,
How
yeah.
about like that.
Okay. Yes.
Whatever the best one you feel.
Best
is.
one I've done. I really, really enjoyed my Aya Sakura Twi'lek cosplay that I did, and I wore that to the Star Wars premiere, and making those Liku was a disaster, but I learned so much because I ended up using pleather for my Liku, which was the heaviest material I could have possibly used, and I sat around all night in these heavy Liku headdress things. But I also really enjoyed painting my body this very like tropical blue. So
Nice.
that was awesome.
Nice. I've done a lot of anime related things, but I think my favorite one was Princess Mononoke. I made my own mask, and I made the wolf pelt cape and everything, and ran around with like bloody face and like.
Did you ever watch Escaflowne?
I have not. It's one of those
Okay.
ones that's on the list, and I just haven't ever gotten around to actually watching it.
I made a cosplay of Merle, who is the cat girl from Escaflowne, and I did her cosplay before I even knew what cosplay was in high school. I didn't know there was a word for it.
There's a what?
Yeah,
What is
but
this cosplay?
she was super fun to cosplay because basically she just wears this like tunic dress thing and then her really long tail, which is really fun to do.
I'm gonna go for some purples and pinks for you.
Yeah.
Because it's a different. I figured that.
From the blues and the greens.
Yeah.
That was a very good question. Thank you. Who was that from?
That was from Capriel Cat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yay.
What have you cosplayed? What do you like cosplaying? I'm very excited about doing mermaids because I've always wanted an excuse to do it.
Yeah.
I may or may not have been lusting after all these fantastical tales before I knew about this gig.
Tails.
Tails!
It's very funny.
Oh.
Fail. Tail fail.
Tail fail.
Why
See,
not?
Stephanie's the painter artist person here in this duo this evening, and I find it hilarious that I'm the one doing the
You did a
scale
good
thing.
job, though.
Oh, thank you.
Would you say she's hooking you up?
Oh my god. It's
I think
never
you're
gonna end.
bobbing for cheap laughs.
It's never gonna end.
We're out of your league. Huh? You know? Yes!
Nice.
I got you to giggle.
Oh man. Alright. So, alright.
I'm like a rainbow fish.
Gonna make you all like pretty. I'm like, there's gonna be a little touch of
A touch.
little touch of
This is
food.
like Bob Ross all over again.
Like little happy green. I'm gonna make a
Little
little
happy
tree
scales.
right here.
Did you ever read the book of the fish with the rainbow scales and then the other fish don't?
Oh yes.
And
yes,
he
yes.
gives like one rainbow scale to
Yes.
all of his friends.
I like that little white. That's very nice.
Yeah, isn't it though? When you like fill in the
It pops very nice.
yeah. I think so.
Ah,
too.
blow yourself. So yeah.
So
Yes.
the man they call Jane asks that he's surprised the mesh fishnet is thick enough to make visible impact on the makeup application.
I know.
Is it easy to see in person, or do you really have to look for it?
It's pretty easy. Like I'm looking at a little tiny. I know, but I'm looking for me, you know, because I can't see myself in that camera. But from this tiny mirror that's way over here, yeah, it's pretty noticeable. Like if you get it up to the camera, you can really get the markings there. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's actually not too bad.
And I'm really curious if we were to use a more traditional fishnet or a thicker fishnet, if that would be any different. I also did research on
Yeah, like these are really.
those are really thick.
Yeah.
And there are these plastic netting like things that Bevmo has that people have used in YouTube videos that I saw that created thicker lines.
Right.
Are you ready
Yep.
for the reveal?
I'm ready.
Okay.
It's like really, really faint.
Yeah, it's super subtle.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? So this is mine.
And I think I need a heavier of this stuff. These guys were not wanting to work.
Right. Did
This
you
one
use any
was like-
water?
No.
Okay.
Gotta use water.
Maybe a little bit of water.
Water. But I like, you can still definitely see the like.
And I'm wondering, like, if we, like, you can see the white bits that popped,
Mm-hmm.
and if we wanted to go really subtle, I bet you could take this fishnet material and just use the white powdered glitter
Yeah.
and like fill in a little bit and then take that off.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that would look really neat. The whole thing.
Oh, totally.
Like you could do like a whole thing with that, and it would be like.
I wonder if that would stay though.
Yeah.
Um,
I like that it's like subtle.
yeah, really subtle. And again, I bet something like this just on my cheekbones. Again, from a distance, you're only gonna see this kind of pinky coloring, but when you're, closer with somebody, they're gonna be like, oh, those are scales. Like, whoa, wild.
Yeah.
Versus when I'm using a primary color, like blue, I mean, that's very apparent. Another material I've seen, like I was saying earlier, is there's these plastic Bevmo cylinders that are stretchy that the company uses so that the bottles don't break. And people have used those to do scales as well, and it creates a bigger diamond.
Yeah, 'cause they're a little thicker.
Mhm. Yeah. So, good question. Thank you.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad for a first attempt.
No, not at all. And that's the thing that's kind of that playing with like really bold and really apparent. Like with a stage show, you would want to use that versus a meet and greet. You're not going to want something that big as it takes away the subtlety.
Yeah.
So.
And this also, like, this is one way to do it. Another way that you could do scale, the same idea, and that I've seen artists do is using, using something like this, and then if you have the money or the ability to borrow an airbrushing kit, they're real nice. And then you get, then you just hold it up and you're done. And it's also super fast and easy to blend colors. And,
right.
But airbrush kits are not cheap. So unless you know somebody who has one, or you have a fancy vacuum cleaner that will blow things out, maybe? No, I don't know.
Shop vac?
Yeah, right? Hold still.
Yeah, so this is something that we're like still obviously playing with. The thing that I got in the most trouble with when I was learning how to do it was too much water in my sponges, and by the time I was taking off the netting, it was running. So powdering in between really, really helped, and then just using the most minimum water you can really helped.
Don't use no water though, because it doesn't work.
Right,
I was like, oh yeah, I didn't put water on it.
But it's not. It's like right in here. That's very subtly textured.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very opalescent.
Yeah.
Fishy fish. Which
Fishy
is cool.
fish. Fishy fish.
Yeah, I said it.
Fishy fish.
Yeah.
One fish, two fish. Red fish, blue fish.
Yep. That's a book.
Hooray. So I think we're like at the closing
We're at the
point.
threshold.
Yeah?
So next week we will be working on probably our hair pieces because we'll have a Lindsay back.
We will have a Lindsay back,
which is awesome. And we're going with that Naiad meets Alphonse Mucha combination. So we're going to be doing some water lily-esque hairpiece crowns that our land cells will be wearing for our gig. So we'll be playing a little bit with how to make flower crowns, how to make those more seaworthy and nautical, and how to make your own flower crown.
Yeah.
One last question did pop up from
Oh.
Capriel Cat. What do you guys think of the clown contouring trend that's going around?
I can't comment on the clown trend because I have many clown friends.
We have lots of clowns. We
We
have lots
actually-
of friends who are
We
clowns.
do.
Yeah.
I may actually become a clown.
Oh, really?
I might.
Awesome.
I might.
Don't be a scary clown.
No. I'll be a cute clown, a la Cha Cha.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're allowed. That's not, don't be
A
scared.
cute clown.
And we did run into them, some clowns.
We did. I was buying.
Oh yeah, the Lagunitas Spirit Circus
It
was
was
happening. There were a lot
Saturday.
of clowns
Tons
out.
of clowns.
Mhm.
So what do we think of clowns? I like professional, like burlesque slash like I love physical comedy.
Mhm.
I love a physical actor, and clowns are the ultimate physical
Yeah.
actor, and I find their stuff to be hilarious. I think the Stephen King novel It ruined it for a lot of people.
Unfortunately, yes. But there's such the clown culture is so wide. There's so many different.
I mean,
things.
that's not like we can't answer this question in like the amount of time that we have.
I saw a clown perform very, very recently at Hubba Hubba Review. Not this last one, but the one before, the month before. Who was from Los Angeles, and he was fantastic. And he was like the poor, dejected, like kind of ramshackle, dirty clown.
But not
He was
Puddles.
very sad. Not Puddles, no. Very sad, and all of his tricks failed. And you know.
Was there a rubber chicken involved?
There was a rubber. There also was a horse in the form of Elmer's glue.
Because the horse
Because
died.
the horse died, yes.
I don't know if that answered your question, but
I don't
Thank you
mind
for
clowns.
asking.
I know there's a lot of people who don't like clowns, but
yeah,
I don't mind.
like creepy clowns. I do like clowns, but not creepy ones.
More sexy clowns.
Yeah.
Speaking of more sexy clowns, we'll be more sexy clowns next week.
Yeah.
with
Anyway,
Lindsay,
with
who's
Lindsay.
the sexiest clown of all.
Of them all. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow us on Facebook. Thank you so much to the Misscliks. And tomorrow at 6 p.m., if you cannot get enough of awesome nerd things, I will be streaming a D&D campaign with the cast and crew of Soulbound. I'm playing Rogue Dragon, who is a dragonkin rogue who's like Buddy the Elf meets Ludo from the Labyrinth. So if you want to know more about Rogue Dragon and the antics that he gets
I want
in,
to know more about Rogue Dragon.
that will be happening tomorrow at 6 o'clock on the same channel. The show is called Soulbound, so check us out.
6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, 6
Pacific
p.m.
time.
Pacific. So
Yes.
where can people find you and your social media bits?
People, right now, I have no idea. I'm going to be off to Burning Man shortly, so my brain is, if it seems a bit distracted lately, it's
You can
because
find
it's on
Stephanie
Burning
at
Man.
Burning Man DJing
Yes,
at
at Planet Earth, and we will actually be streaming a lot of our DJing sets throughout the entire week, so you can catch it online. I'm sure there'll be a website that I'll mention next week once I figure out what it is.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. Thanks everyone. See you next week.
Bye.